Good afternoon, everyone. This is Coleman from Coleman's Coins and Currency, here today with another daily numismatic educational lecture. But before we start today's daily numismatic educational lecture, make sure to subscribe, like, and turn on those push bell notifications so that you will never miss another epic Coleman's Coins and Currency video. And in today's video, we are going to discuss about this 1918 $5 Federal Reserve banknote / national currency with the Abraham Lincoln side portrait, which is a very rare note, and we're going to be talking about how scarce these notes are and a little bit of background history on them. Alright viewers, let's delve on in today's daily numismatic educational lecture. So, back in 1914, the U.S. government decided to start the Federal Reserve branch, which was ultimately decided by, at the time, President Woodrow Wilson, and he created the Federal Reserve Act in 1913. And the Federal Reserve Act required that there be 12 different branches of Federal Reserve banks, and each bank in a particular region in the country would disperse notes there, of course, to go to all the towns and cities and the rural and the urban areas as well. And there were 12 Federal Reserve banks, all placed around the country, and each bank set its own interest rate, and they monitored the other banks, and they made sure that these Federal Reserve banks were indeed using the correct procedures, such as star notes and printing currency, and making sure that, currency came through good on sheets and it was being cut properly, and that there were no faulty banknotes. Well, as you viewers know, some of the times there are faulty banknotes, and the Federal Reserve System sometimes doesn't catch them. So, they made the first series of 1914 $5 notes, which was at the time very common. Now, this note right here is a little bit harder to find. This is a 1918 $5 side portrait Federal Reserve notes, but it's also national currency because during this time, banks were issuing national currency, and national currency circulated at all these different banks in the United States, and national currency was still U.S. currency, except different banks printed them and they distributed them out to their customers, and that is how national currency started. And here's a quick look on the bill. You can see the back is very ornate, but what makes this bill different is it says G7 instead of 7G, which is very commonplace. And it says the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago, Illinois, top $5. Now, this note right here is very scarce, and they didn't print that many of them because they made more of the 1914 notes. This was just a note that was extra, and the majority of people who found these kept them because they made, I believe, less than 100 million of these notes, and they really weren't that heavily circulated, and they're very hard to find. Now, these notes' values range anywhere from $400 or $500 in low grade to sometimes thousands to sometimes tens of thousands of dollars, depending on the condition of this banknote. So, is this bill rare? Well, it's scarce to find, but it's not all that rare. But scarcity and rarity are two different things. Rarity means they only make a few of them, like 5 notes or 10 notes or 20 notes. This, they made a couple million. This is still a very scarce note, and it's not easy to obtain, but one can find a lot of great examples of these notes because they're scarce and they're rare, but they are very expensive to own as a piece to a private numismatic collection. And they are very expensive notes, and they go from a couple hundred in like good shape with a bunch of problems on it to like a couple thousand in really good condition. Now, these notes there was a $5 note. There was also a $2 battleship note that was made during this time period. And there was a $1 note, which was the Green Eagle note. And that was also made in 1918. So, there you have it. There's a little bit of history, background information, and a little bit of expertise on a 1918 $5 banknote. Please like, subscribe, and turn on your push bell notifications so you'll never miss another epic daily numismatic educational lecture video. Once again, this is Coleman from Coleman's Coins and Currency, saying have a good day, night, or whatever time it is that you are watching this video at, and take care.